Pliny the Elder.
I don't know him.
It's a double IPA.
You're such a
You know
snob.
what that is. Don't drink my beer.
How ironic that we're talking about how odd it is that we're friends, and here you are just snobbing it up.
Welcome back to Over a Glass with Kate and Heidi. You know by now that I'm Kate. That's not Kate.
I'm honestly not participating in this madness anymore. You don't know me. Get out. Please don't.
Come back.
I'm so sorry. Please.
She didn't mean it.
That
She
was
takes
rude.
it back.
Oh God.
We literally just talked about this.
We're the worst.
Speak for yourself.
So, today we thought would be a good time to tell the story about how we met and kind of evolve into a little more details about how we actually got close. Because I don't feel like it's any secret that we're like very, very different. And it's often, I mean, I don't know, it's confused me sometimes as to why we're so close. Mostly because I wonder why she likes me, to be quite honest. Like, seriously.
You're like the same person.
Well, you'll understand more into the story, but
Yeah.
ultimately, it's so strange because if not for the circumstances that we had, we never would have gotten close. There's no chance, even if we crossed paths, it would have been nothing more than two drunk girls in a bathroom, just like, I like your shirt.
Oh my gosh, she was so nice.
Right, and then just like telling stories of this wonderful woman for years to come, but never actually like pursuing a friendship. And it's really interesting that we are as close as we are, and it's really, for me, it's very rewarding.
Yeah, especially given how different we are. And I mean, I was gonna say something superficial, but I don't want to say it anymore.
Say it.
Well, just because it's like, own it. Well, I mean, like, when we look at each other, like, it's just like, I mean, we think about it, like, you're tattooed, like, but I love it, but like, that's what I'm saying, it's gonna sound superficial, but like, you know, like, you lift, and I don't, and it's just like, you're this, like, beautiful, like, tough person, and I'm this, like, little, like, girl who doesn't.
That's so nice.
Anyway, we're gonna give you guys a little bit of a background on how we became friends. So it all started on February 3rd, 2013.
I can't believe you remember.
Isn't that weird?
That's one very big difference about us. I don't remember shit.
I remember everything. I moved to California from Portland, Oregon, and it was just one of those things. We work for the same company, and it's a company that you can easily transfer within, thankfully. And I was up there, and one day I was like, I need to get out of Portland. I love Portland, but I need change. And I had a boyfriend at the time, and I moved down here, and well, I was able to transfer within my work, thankfully. And I wanted to live in Napa and work in Napa. And as it turns out, though, when I moved here, my boyfriend and I broke up. And I was just in a very emotional place, and just coming to this new place. I wanted to be in Napa. I love Napa. And then they put me in Vallejo, California. And I don't know if any of you know Vallejo.
Area.
I didn't know what it was. I was
Where
like,
people like me roam wild. And you know what's funny too is that, like, as she talks about her perspective of like what she anticipated, Napa, and then where she ends
country.
up, Vallejo. For me, we knew where we were at, that we had a new person coming in, and we had also just gotten a new manager. So I was just getting out of training as this new manager took place. So the person who hired me was not there anymore. And though she had high hopes for me in the beginning, it very quickly became clear that we were not going to be the best of friends. And all I knew of this lovely angel to my left was that she was handpicked by the very woman who would flick me off the face of the earth if she could. And in her defense, I don't blame her. I was not the best guy for the job. Go on, I'm sorry.
That's pretty much it. So I move here, and then I walk in to our work on my first day, and I was nervous because I was just like, where what is this place? This is not Napa. I get there and I meet the team and, you know, everyone says hi. But then they're like, do you have pepper spray? And I was like, where'd you get that?
Like one of the first things they say.
What do I need that for? And they were like, you don't even know. My pepper spray got confiscated at the airport the other day.
That makes sense.
Neither here nor there. Anyways, so yeah, so all I knew about this place that was not Napa was that I needed pepper spray, and so it was my first day, and I was meeting the team, and we ended up in the break room together, and I didn't know anything about this girl, and did you ask me how I was? Was that what happened? Mm-hmm. She said,
biggest mistake of my life. I normally don't ask that question to strangers.
So she said, so Kate, like, how are you? And I started bawling just in the break room, my first day, crying. And she looked at me a little terrified, like, why did I ask?
I'm the one you chose for this?
Like, I don't know. She says to me, like, she was just, her eyes were big because she didn't know what to do, and the only thing she said was, can I hug you? And I was like, yeah. So she did, and I was crying, let me tell you, because I had just moved to California. Like, I drove in my car to California like the day before, mm-hmm. and I didn't know anyone, and my boyfriend and I had just broken up. So when she said, how are you?
Show up,
do you really want to know?
You're expecting to work in like wine country, and on your lunch break, take a walk to the winery and have a quick tasting and giggle with all the successful entrepreneurs.
I was the hope.
Right, and then like you show up to your first day of work, and it's like, not that it's a disappointment, like there are great people there. But just overall, like going through this breakup, and like I can totally see how it was overwhelming, and that's why I was like, this bitch need a hug.
Then, like, there was like a bullet hole.
Oh yeah!
Do you want to see this?
That's right, there was a bullet hole in the wall.
Yeah, so that's how we met. My very first day, she said, can I hug you? And we hugged.
That's a pivotal moment where like, you're in a new place with new faces, people you don't know, and you're not sure who you can trust, and like some people put on a really good first impression and then turn into someone completely different down the road, so you just never know. Right. And especially moving from a different state. Ultimately, I mean, I feel like having a moment like that, a very sincere, raw moment like that with a stranger, kind of lets you know whether you can or cannot trust them.
Mm-hmm. I agree. You could have easily been like, okay, well, my break's over.
I'm gonna sidestep out of here. But I think that was like a really pivotal point in our relationship. And like we hung out a couple times, like I feel like in group settings or whatever. Like the moment that really made us get close, kind of like really small and silly, but I feel like all love stories are. But yeah. I invited her over to my apartment because we had discovered upon talking at work that we were both very big fans of the #1 feature film ever created in the history of man, Princess Bride. And we could have died the moment that we found out the other loved that movie.
I think we just stared at each other.
We did. It was like a moment of amazement. It was all white, baby. But like, it was for sure a moment. And so I invited her over to my apartment. And mind you, like this was a moment in my life where I had just left my son's father, and I was single for the first significant amount of time in my life. And I was really discovering myself and learning about myself and being independent. So this was the first time I've ever lived alone. Not necessarily independently, but like this was the first time that it was just me and my son, and that was it. And it was just a 1-bedroom apartment. I slept on the couch. I gave my son the room, and it had bugs, and it was just like in a really rough part of town. And like, to be quite honest, I grew up in neighborhoods like that. So that was like, it didn't faze me. That was such a proud time in my life to just like take hold of my life, which is another story, but...
You didn't live in Napa.
Right. For her to come over, I could only imagine like what her thoughts were pulling up, like, oh, like I had to come down to the security gate to let her in. Yeah, it's like, it's really hard to describe. The best way to describe it, and correct me if I'm wrong, is like a gated motel. like a rundown gated motel. That's like what my apartment complex kind of looked like. And I don't know how else to describe it, but ultimately it just wasn't what she was used to. And like, I could imagine her like pulling in and parking like,
hey, can I see my car from your apartment?
right? Exactly. And I'm like, no, girls, way back there. You ain't never gonna see it again if I'm gonna be real, but you could sleep here. I have a love seat. One. Like, and honestly, I won't say that like I felt insecure because I had so much pride in my life at that time. I was very proud of myself. But I will say that because she was so different, I just didn't know what she was gonna think.
She was so different.
Yeah, you are so different. Like,
yeah,
I don't know you at this point, but I can tell like you grew up different than me.
That's safe to say.
I don't feel like it takes a rocket scientist to know that. So I didn't know what she could make of it. And my air conditioning actually was broken at the time too, and it wasn't even central like air. So even if it was working, it wouldn't have been great. But it wasn't. So like we had to leave my front door open, and like we're in the hood, and she don't know what the fuck's up. So like for her to be open to like come to my apartment and sit on the floor in the dead of summer and just leave the door wide open in this neighborhood you're not comfortable in and watch this movie and just like enjoy the time.
I'm gonna interject really quickly and just say that when I got there, naturally I brought wine to enjoy a beverage. Like, yeah, that's what I do. And then Heidi didn't have a corkscrew, which to me was odd. And I was like, well, where's the nearest store?
Because my handle of vodka has a twist cap.
So I was like, I'll just run to the store. So in this, what is apparently the ghetto, I take my little car. I don't know if I was driving my little bug at the time. I don't know.
You were.
Oh, okay. And I got pulled over. I was at the stoplight, and because I was on my phone, I didn't see that there was a cop next to me watching me look at my phone. So when he pulled me over, he's like, I had my Oregon driver's license still, and he's like, I don't know the laws in Oregon, but you're not supposed to be on your phone here and there. So I went to Walmart and got a corkscrew and then came back to her house, and that's my side story.
Well, that's the point too.
I got out of my ticket, by the way.
It's like you were totally out of your comfort zone. You had to like kind of go out of your way to get there because you commuted from Napa to Vallejo, back to Napa, and then to Fairfield to come see me. Like, it was a whole venture just to come watch this movie with me. And like, for me, that resonated with me. That will forever resonate with me. Like, just someone you hardly know, and just because you found out that they love a movie that you love, like, you're willing to do all this. Like, I knew that there was something really, really special and really, really genuine about her. And it didn't matter that she was...
What? Finish that sentence.
It didn't matter that she says ghetto like ghetto. It was I. No. Trust me, we have so many story times. So please let us know. We're gonna cut this off here, but like, we have tons of other stories, even about this very night, that we could share with you guys. So seriously, if you guys are interested in story times, if you enjoyed hearing a little bit more about our life and our relationship, whatever, please comment down below. We would really love to hear it, and we will be more than happy to make it.
And now you guys know how we became friends, even though we're so different, but the same. We're not the
Princess
same at
Bride.
all. The Princess Bride. Marriage.
Together.
Marriage is what brings
It
us
ended in marriage.
together. She's my work wife.
But cheers, guys. Thank you for tuning in again.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye. You didn't say bye.
Waved.